Hello everybody and welcome back to the United Stand. It is another match day, the first away game for Manchester United of the new Premier League season. We had a bit of a rough time against Wolves at home, who, by the way, are now getting battered off Brighton 4-0 at their place. If that's anything to go by performance-wise, this could be a struggle today, but I'm getting behind Man United. It's the first away game of the season. It's the build-up show, our new show that we've been rolling out, and we're going to get into loads of different things. Maguire's been left out of the matchday squad. He's not there. What does this entail? Who's going to line up for Manchester United? What changes are there going to be? Who's going to line up for Spurs? Who are the players at Spurs that we need to keep an eye on? Who are the players at Manchester United that we think can pull us through this game today? And to get into all this, we're going to need your comments, so make sure you comment in the chat as well. We're going to have a chat of the day, get your predictions in. It's going to be super interactive. Also, I've got Faz with me.
Thank you very much. Hello.
Welcome to the build-up. First time on the build-up, the new show.
First time indeed. And we will really build up this game because we need to.
I know.
We really need to
build it up, haven't we?
I woke up slightly in a mood. I woke up slightly deflated. But after I got into the studio, saw the pretty faces of everyone, I feel a little bit better. But hopefully the build-up can encourage me to feel a bit better about the game as well.
Well, don't do what I did, which was predict a 4-0 win and that we were going to batter Wolves and that they're basically relegation fodder. And then at Old Trafford, you got a lucky 1-0 win, because I looked pretty stupid. But to be fair, I weren't wrong about Wolves.
I mean, it wasn't the first time that you looked pretty stupid.
That is very true.
It's
It happens
before,
on a regular basis. That's what happens when you actually get behind Manchester United. You get behind your team. You end up looking stupid sometimes.
Yeah. And Onana gets chipped as well in pre-season.
Oh, apparently there's been a red card for Liverpool in the chat. Who's had the red card for Liverpool? But yeah, everyone get your predictions in. A lot of people aren't that confident going into this game, as you can imagine. I mean, at the Molineux, Brighton turn up, batter Wolves, and also you look at it, and you look at last week at Brighton as well, battering Luton. I know that we expect them to go down, but it's still more than what Man United being able to put together, isn't it?
It's scary how many goals, not just what's happened to. Not just what happened to in terms of Wolves, how we perform, but how many goals Brighton scoring.
I've got some news, Faz. I've got some news coming through my ear, everyone. Make sure you listen to this. We are hearing, the United Stand is hearing, that Manchester United are unchanged from the Wolves game, and it will be the same starting 11 that started at Old Trafford against Wolves. Garnacho looks like he's going to start again, and it's going to be that midfield. Everyone cross your fingers and toes. Faz, what are your reactions to that straight off the bat?
Right, okay. First thing first, I didn't want to play Lisandro Martinez today. A lot of people...
I've won my bet with Ricky. We bet on if he'd start or not, so Ricky owes me a tenner.
Yeah. I didn't want to play him because I'm still a bit concerned about his ankle issue. Is that his ankle that was the problem?
I don't think it was Trey, Faz.
I hope there's nothing much to it. I really do. But if there is any form of truth behind that, I don't want to risk Lisandro Martinez losing him this early on in the season. But like I say, if he's starting and the manager thinks he's perfectly fine to start, then fine. But I just didn't want to risk him. And in terms of Alejandro Garnacho, I actually think we should give him another chance, another few chances. You never become a starting player until you're actually given starting minutes. How long do you want us to keep giving him bench minutes and keep saying he's great from the bench? Because he's done that last season and done that really well. Let him express himself today a little bit. And I kind of hoped that Rashford was going to play on the left because Spurs have this pacey centre-back, the new one that they bought, Van de Ven, I think. I didn't want Rashford to go toe-to-toe with him because the centre-back is very pacey, so he can keep up with Rashford. So I wanted him to play from the left. But it's also giving the Manchester United starting 11 a chance to rectify what went wrong from the Wolves game. It gives them an opportunity to show what they did in the training, what they've improved on, have they assessed what they did wrong? Are they going to close that gap between Casemiro and the front line? Is Ten Hag going to make some adjustments? That's what I'm looking forward to now. So yeah, it's all okay. It also gives Sancho some fire, you know, in his belly to come off the bench again today if we're struggling and give us some moments. So it's not the end of the world, in all honesty. It's not. The back line is still solid, right? Bissaka is still there. Martinez, Varane, Shaw is still there. So yeah, I'm not disappointed.
Yeah, well, I am a little bit disappointed because I do think there was changes that needed to be made. That's my own personal opinion, but we back the manager and hope that this starting 11 can do exactly what you said and prove us wrong from the opening day against Wolves. Super chat in from JX Swain, Faz, go emoji. Faz the goal, not quite, nearly. And it was McAllister that got the red card. This is what I mean. McAllister, Mason Mount. I'm telling you guys, Mason Mount today is going to do this.
I know you said a huge one. You said Mason Mount's going to have a better season than McAllister, I remember.
I stick by it. But we've got loads to get into on the show, and I do kind of want to move us along to the next section. So as you can see, we've got our predicted 11, which doesn't seem like it's going to be the case. It looks like we are going to be unchanged. We're here on the build-up all the way up until Mark's watch-along, so make sure you stay tuned for that. And we've got Adam coming as well, a new format in the studio, everyone. We're going to be able to bring Adam in from outside Spurs' ground, so that's going to be super exciting. But I want to get into some match facts about Spurs and Manchester United because I found these pretty fascinating when I was doing my research. So, Faz, let me tell you and let me tell the audience what they are. The last 15 Premier League games against Spurs, won 8 of them, drawn 2 of them, and lost 5 of them. So it's in Man United's favour to get the win here. Still had some losses in there, but it's in Manchester United's favour. Obviously, this goes back quite a few years. But then the last 5 Premier League away games at Spurs' ground, won 3, drawn 2, lost 0. So we've not lost at Spurs' ground in our last 5 Premier League away games, which I find very, very fascinating. And to add on to it, and this is why Rashford's captained in my Fantasy Premier League, please, in the last 5 Premier League games against Spurs, United have scored at least 2 goals in all of the fixtures. So I do think Man United can get it at Spurs today, and I do think it will be a high-scoring game. The problem is I think Spurs will score against us as well. What do you think?
Look, Manchester United, regardless of how we performed against Wolves, we are a lot better off as a team than a few years ago. We have a bit of slight bit of identity, this transition football that we play in. We are creating chances, loads of them as well, in all our games that we play. It's just we're not converting them. I think we will create loads of chances today. It will come down to the number 9, the graveyard shift, as some people call it, for Marcus Rashford to really find the back of the net. It's simple as that. Because, look, Tottenham Hotspur, I don't know whether they brought in Maddison knowing that they're going to let Kane go, whatever it is, but bringing in Maddison is actually very shrewd business. And Postecoglou is actually not a bad manager. We have to be very careful how we play today's game. As much as the history stats and whatever, all of that can be wiped today. The stats are there to be broken and changed. I don't go off that because it's a totally different 2 sets of managers today going ahead each other. Hopefully, we can beat Spurs' press because they are going to press very hard.
It's going to be tough, and I think everyone needs to be on the ball, especially technically, which we weren't against Wolves. Paulson Sports Clip says, easy win for Man United today. Mason Mount going to score is going to sit down the haters. I really hope you're right. I don't see it being an easy win, but while you're speaking about Spurs and Ange, the new manager, who is come in and he's trying to play a more attacking style of football with this Spurs team, we'll get on screen for you now what our predicted lineup is going to be for the Spurs team, and then we're going to talk about who out of this Spurs team we feel like could cause us a few problems, because as you can see there, we've got Vicario, their new keeper, who I said in my preview I thought looked a little bit shaky in the game against Brentford. Few Spurs fans didn't agree with me, but that was just what I thought from that. Emerson Royale at right back, Romero and Van de Ven, their new centre back, who looks good, but I don't think looks like anything special. I've only seen him once. And you've got Ndoye at left back, who I thought really impressed, their new signing. You've got Skip, Basuma and Maddison. Skip might get rotated out, but we're going to go with that's what we think is going to happen. And then you've got a front 3 of Kulusevski, Richarlison and Son. Here's a question for you. What's a better front 3? Son, Richarlison and Kulusevski, or Garnacho, Rashford and Antony?
Wow. Going off last game, I would have given it to Spurs' front 3, but I will have a bit of bias because I just think, as much as me, I'm a huge fan of Son, but he's had not a great season last season, and Kulusevski's as well, not a great season, and Richarlison, absolute goal drought. So I'm going to go with Manchester United's front 3,
It's a tough one, and that shouldn't be the case. I think if Højlund comes in and starts, bagging goals and looks good, then I think we definitely top them. But it's a tough one right now. Everyone get in the chat what you guys think. I've seen Alan Hire saying Sancho must start. We are hearing, just to repeat if you're just tuning in, we are hearing that Manchester United's lineup will be unchanged from the Wolves starting lineup. So Sancho will be on the bench if that is the case. Maybe Martial will come on. But everyone get in the chat as well. Who are you scared of in terms of Spurs' players? Not necessarily scared of, but who causes you a bit of a worry? Me and Faz have already done our pick. So Faz, I'll let you have first pick, so we can all guess who yours is going to be. Who do you think could pull the strings for?
I've had a slight change of mind.
But we've already got the graphics on, so you're going to have to stick with it.
I don't. Who did I pick? I think I picked Son or Maddison.
No, you picked Maddison.
I picked Maddison. Funny thing is, Son obviously got subbed off last game, so I don't know if he's going to play the full 90 this game. But it is Maddison. Maddison can occupy so many, spaces in that final third of the opposition, and obviously he's got a long range shot, great in set pieces, he's energetic, he presses and he's very vocal with his press. He's going to cause a lot of problems, and this is where Casemiro has to come in, and Bruno, by the way, because I want Bruno to play next to Casemiro. This is where Casemiro has to come in and mop up and make sure he locks up the shop on Maddison, and he basically doesn't stay on the ball for too long, because if Maddison is on the ball for too long, we're in deep trouble. It's going to be a long plus 90 minutes because of the new added time rule as well, don't forget.
Yes, so you picked Maddison, who was going to be my pick, I can't lie. I think he looks like a great signing for them, and he's very good on the ball. They got him at a good price because obviously he got relegated with Leicester. I've gone with, he's not necessarily the most attacking player, but I've actually gone with Bissouma as my pick. And the reason I've gone with Bissouma is, and I see a lot of you guys in the chat saying Bissouma as well, so we're on the same wavelength there. The reason I've gone with Bissouma is not because he's going to come in and necessarily score, goals against us or be able to pull the strings maybe from the midfield, which he is capable of doing, but it's not necessarily for that reason. It's when I look at their midfield compared to ours, we don't really have that kind of profile of a Bissouma that's going to be able to do what he's going to be able to do in that game. Casemiro is going to be left on his own a lot if the Wolves game is anything to go by. Bissouma just gives Spurs that defensive security, and I feel like with his physicality in there, that could be the key difference in winning or losing the midfield battle with our midfield. So that's why I've gone with Bissouma as one of the ones to watch. But it's going to be an interesting one. Games like this, I think, why don't we have Amrabat in? Because Amrabat would have started this game, absolutely, wouldn't he?
Sure.
So it's just...
Who would have you benched?
I think I would have moved Rashford to the left. Sorry, I would have moved Mount to the left and probably dropped Garnacho and played Amrabat in there and used Mount sort of as like a inverted winger type thing, because he's played that a lot in the past as well. So I think it's really unfair as a new sign, especially when we're talking about confidence levels, for people calling for Mount to be dropped. Ten Hag's wanted him for a long time. Yeah, he didn't have the best performance. Neither did anyone else. Why should it only be Mount that gets dropped? I think you've got to give him a chance. And I think for confidence levels, with all the stick he's been getting, dropping him out after the first game, just for me wouldn't be the right move. But I know a lot of people. I know Mark did his lineup and he didn't have Mount in, so people do have different opinions on this one. Ruben Facuso, member for 24 months. When will the nightmare of the Glazers end? Keep up the great work being a member for 24 months. Thank you, Ruben, for that chat. And yeah, a lot of people in the chat wanting to drop Mount. He's getting a lot of criticism in the fan base. I hope he has a good game today, because I think he does need to.
I'll be honest, I don't really understand the fan base. Because people want us to be patient with the manager. People want us to be patient with Rasmus Højlund. People want us to be patient with the process. Yet people don't want to be patient with Mason Mount. And you know very well, me and you have had conversation off camera where I told you I'm not attracted to this signing. I'm not. But I will swallow the pill and I'll be okay, because it's a Ten Hag signing. I am backing the manager. Where is the patience when you need it? It's almost a pick and choose.
We need to be patient.
They want to be patient with Jadon Sancho, but they don't want to be patient with Mason Mount. And it doesn't matter if he's not a big name signing. What else can you do?
Can I just say as well, if we would signed Caicedo and he would have dropped a stinker in his first game, nobody would have been having this sort of criticism.
Yeah, but Caicedo, we know the type of player he is.
It's because people don't like the name of Mason Mount, and he's already got this kind of, he's already got this kind of toxicity around it by a lot of people who didn't initially want him. If he was any other sign that came in and dropped a bit of a stinker first game, there wouldn't be like so much kind of toxicity around it. Not toxicity, because you were allowed to be critical of players, of course, and I've always said that you can have that opinion, but there wouldn't be this uproar straight away. And by the way, it's not as if like everybody played well and Mount stuck out like a sore thumb to play poorly. For me, he wasn't the worst midfielder. Bruno was the worst midfielder. And that's saying something because I love Bruno.
Yeah.
But there was, and the team didn't play well. So, he gets given a chance again today. Alejandro Conte says, I get we have to back him, but there were so many other options. I understand that.
The thing is, he's not, I'll be very honest, he's not the right type of the profile we actually needed. I don't understand what made Erik ten Hag buy Mason Mount. I really don't. Is it simply because of his energy levels that he can run around, smash into people, box to box? I really don't. It's because of his, it's not that he's the most creative player that we could have bought. He's not. He's not the best in front of goal. I don't know what it is that he's identified in Mason Mount, because we know he wanted him before in Ajax. The profile of player that we needed is someone who can carry the ball, a progressor of the ball, who's good, who's press resistant, who's good 1v1, all of these attributes that adds to creating towards goal. And Mason Mount isn't. We know point blank, no matter how much you tell me he's put the assist in for the Champions League, whatever, he's not that type of player. Now, if Ten Hag can make him to become that player, then sure, we'll have to, he's still very young. It's not like he's 27, 28 years old. He's only 23, 24. So and maybe Ten Hag will work with him.
You've got to say to yourself as well, there's a reason why Klopp wanted him, Arteta wanted him, Tuchel wanted him at Bayern Munich, Poch wanted to keep him. There's clearly something there that managers love. So we'll have to see. Ricky's just texted me, by the way. I got my phone out. I wasn't being rude. It's just Twitter isn't working on my laptop, so I just wanted to see what the team is. It's just come out, and it's just come out. But Ricky's just texted me saying he'll bring his tenner with me, with him, because he said Martinez wouldn't start. If anyone saw mine and Ricky's show, he said he bets me a tenner that Martinez won't start, Lindelof will. And I said, I bet you a tenner that Martinez will start. And thankfully,
it's all right for Ricky. He's not short of a tenner anyways.
He's not short of a tenner, and I'll be holding him to it. But the team is correct. It's officially out now. Manchester United are unchanged. Maguire left out, according to what's coming out of the news, it's with a minor injury. Don't buy it at all.
Absolute bollocks. Faz, on United's stand, I'm telling you, it's bollocks. He has no injury. He is not ill. There is nothing wrong with Harry Maguire. My manager, your manager, is the #1 deceiver, and I absolutely love it. I love how he does this, he toys with the media. He tells the media that Harry Maguire is a crucial part of the team, and only to go and drop him. And only, a day or two later, Johnny Evans' contract talks come out. Absolutely amazing. If you have to push him out, you push him out in this way. There's many ways to skin a cat. Many ways. And this is what you have to do. He has to do. People wanted him to be ruthless, but Ten Hag is not the type of person to bash someone in the public eye.
He won't say it vocally, but he'll do it with actions like this.
Yeah.
Stripping of the captaincy was a signal.
Yep.
Leave the club. Now he's had to go one step further and drop him from the matchday squad. This is all behaviour that tells Maguire, you are not part of my plans.
Yep. Not happening.
And I love Ten Hag for that. We've got what people have got to do, because I know a lot of people are getting frustrated with the fact he does lie in his press conferences, but he does. That's just the way he is. You've got to know when to read between the lines with Ten Hag, and you some certain things you can pick up. In his presser when he said, "I've been here a year," he knows what to expect of a starting centre back. That's a tiny little dig. That is a tiny little dig. Now leaving him out of the team with a minor injury, which isn't. Let's be honest, it's not a minor injury. It's telling him, go and move, because you aren't going to be playing for me, which I really like from Ten Hag. I really do.
Listen, he can't, by the way, he can't put him to, people are saying, shift Maguire to the under-21s. He can't do that, because Maguire hasn't breached any club policy or rules or anything. He's not turned up to training late or caused a ruckus or anything as such, so he can't penalise him. So, yeah, for him to drop him from the matchday squad totally is a big thing.
Interesting one, Faz. Spurs' XI is now out as well. People were saying, when I said Skip might get rotated, I saw a few comments saying Skip's one of the best players. Beth, no, he won't. Well,
one of the best players in Spurs.
I don't know who that was. Maybe it was Ricky's burner in the chat. I know he's a big fan of him. But the Spurs 11 is Vicario, Pedro Porro at right back. So Emerson Royal has been dropped. Interesting.
What?
Romero, Van de Ven, Udogie, Sarr, Basuma, Maddison, Kulusevski, Son, and Richarlison. So the only changes there is Porro comes in for Emerson Royal, and also Sarr comes in for Skip. So I think that makes them stronger, if I'm being honest with you. And then I just wanted to look, do we have our subs bench out anywhere? Anybody? Do we have subs? Yes, got it there. So you've got Henderson, Vitek, Lindelof, Dalot, McTominay, Ericsson, Pellistri, Sancho and Martial. 2 keepers on the bench. I mean, it says a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
But, do you expect Ericsson, Sancho, Martial to come on and make this impact for us?
No. I don't expect Martial
Oh yeah,
to make an impact.
you're a Martial hater. I forgot.
Whoa,
Everyone. Faz is a Martial hater, everyone.
Whoa! No, don't do that. Don't do that. Because I actually fancy him a lot. I love him a lot.
Oh, you fancy him?
I think, no, as a player, let's not get into which players we fancy. Let's not do this because I will win. No, I absolutely love his footballing ability, but it's the marriage. I've divorced the marriage between me and Martial FC. So no, I'm fully done. I'm just waiting for him to go.
I'm excited for Martial to come on. I think he'll get minutes today.
How are you excited?
If he doesn't get minutes, because it's the hope that kills you, and I know he's a good player, and I just think if he can get a couple, like 20 minutes towards the end of the game, that'll help us to get his fitness, and hopefully he can stay fit. But
it's like speaking to someone online that you've met and you never meet them. You've been speaking for 6 months.
Catfish.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's a catfish. They don't sound the same on the phone, and you keep asking them, let's meet up, and you never meet them. That's what's up with Martial. I don't know how you get excited.
To you, Faz?
No, I'm
Yeah,
happily listen, I'm happily taken. Don't listen to this girl here. I'm happily taken, please.
No, you are, and we love her. But anyway, let's move on to, before we bring Adam in, because we're going to get his reaction soon, we also did this on the build-up show. It's our new little segment, and everybody get your chat in as well, what you think. We also did our players to watch. So we'll go ladies first. We'll go with me first, and I'll bring my first one in. So if I recall correctly, the first player that I brought in as a player to watch for Manchester United was Marcus Rashford. The reason I went with Marcus Rashford, guys, because I can back it up with the stats. I'm taking FPL seriously. I'm taking the build-up show seriously, and I'm bringing you what you want to know. Marcus Rashford has not scored against any team more than what he scored against Spurs.
Wow.
Also, everyone, this is in the Premier League. Also, on his last 2 outings to Spurs Stadium, he scored in both games. So I think Rashford, with that high line, and he's going to play a high line because he's going to want to impress the fans, first home game of the season, energy's going to be up. I think Rashford with that high line could be in, and I think he could get a brace today. And I'm backing it, and I'm hoping he...
So you're getting excited? Well, this is where I have to stop you. You're getting excited. Very excited.
I'm getting excited, but what do you want me to do? Sit here and say, oh, everyone, I really don't think we can do it today. There's no hope for us. Do you want me to come and say that? I want to get everyone... it's about positive manifestation.
Yeah.
I believe in it. I believe in the vibes.
What happened to Mason Mount then? Player to watch?
I've not brought him into this show, but he was my player to watch last game, and look how well that turned out. So I thought I'd give him a rest from
So throw Rashford under the bus.
Yes.
Who did I pick?
Your first pick was Garnacho.
Yeah.
So explain why you picked Garnacho.
I think I picked someone else.
You picked Anthony after that. We'll go to that.
Oh,
afterwards.
yeah.
But your first pick was Garnacho.
I think Alejandro Garnacho is an absolute exceptional talent, and I've invested heavily into him, and you see that yourself, that the manager's picking him to start. I think, look, considering how he performed against Semedo and today now with Pedro Porro, I think he can definitely get a Pedro Porro. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Semedo, obviously a lot more physical, tried him last season in the away game, but I think he's going to learn from his mistakes. Also, don't forget, against Wolves, everything kind of seemed to go from Martinez to Garnacho. Onana to Garnacho, everything, like the first few 15, 20 minutes, everything was on the left-hand side. I want to ease off the pressure a little bit and share the load between him and Anthony. So I am expecting Onana to, the reason why we brought him, make pinpoint, long balls to Anthony as well, try and beat that press, because Spurs against Brentford, at one point, I think they had 9 or 10 players in Brentford's final third, almost like their defensive third. We need to be able to beat that. And the way we beat that today is pinpoint passing from Andre Onana to the wingers. And that's why, Alejandro Garnacho will come in. And if Rashford is playing the number 9 position and Garnacho's on the left, Anthony's on the right, it brings a lot of pace. A lot of pace. And if you ask me between Pedro Porro and Garnacho in a foot race, I'm picking Garnacho all day long. I am. I think Semedo is obviously a very established fullback. He's a good player. I think Porro is obviously more of an attacking fullback. I think Garnacho could have a good game against him, and hopefully he does. He's a confident lad, so I think he won't hold on to the last game. I think he'll
go out there with a fresh perspective and it won't harm his
He has
game.
something to prove.
He does. He does. My second player that I did to watch, by the way, everyone, actually isn't starting for Manchester United. I thought he would start. I went with Jadon Sancho as a player to watch. Still can be a player to watch because coming off the bench, we know he's going to come on. We know he's going to have an impact. In the Wolves game, when he came on, it wasn't much, but all the attacking movement started to go through Sancho. He was linking up, playing nicely, putting a nice ball for Rashford. He sees passes sometimes that not many of the other attackers do. He's the most intelligent attacker when it comes to creating chances. So for that reason, I went with Jadon Sancho. And I honestly thought Erik ten Hag was going to start him. I really did. So Ten Hag's fooled me and he's not starting, but he was a player that I did think we could bring in. Not only because he looks after the ball when a lot of our attackers consistently lose it, so he can keep possession, but because he is intelligent and he can get involved with Mount and Bruno in the passages of play, which I think they really did need assistance with. But Erik ten Hag, what do I know? Erik ten Hag's not gone with it. He's gone with Garnacho. But who was your second player? It
Antony.
was Antony.
Yeah,
yes. And why?
I actually enjoyed his game against Wolves as much as. People are finding issues with him, whatever it is. I think he's improved loads of aspects of his game. How many times did he win the ball back against Wolves for us as well and started an attack and running at the defence? That's what we wanted. We wanted him to be more direct. I don't want to hold this thing where people say he needs a better fullback to help him play better. I don't really, like that argument that you need someone else to still do the basics better. The basics is hold on to the ball, speed it up, beat a man 1v1. He even did that against Wolves. He beat his man a few times 1v1. Yes, the decision making and everything, that's something he can work on. But most importantly is his left foot. And he needs to, as much as we complain about him not using his right foot, he also needs to cut in and use that left foot. Because against Wolves, you saw he tried to make a cross, overhit it. Why? If you're so, concentrated on using one foot, everything that you do, or majority of what comes out of that foot should be pinpoint. Because that's your predominant, you only use that left foot. We know left-footed, wingers and left-footed players on either side. When they cross a ball, Cole Palmer, for example, you see how he scored the goal, a couple of days ago with his left foot. That's what I want to see from him. Even Mahrez, even Salah, all of these players, when they use their preferred foot, it's pinpoint. That's what I want from Antony today. I want to see him possibly getting a goal, with his left foot from the edge of the box or somewhere around that. It's long overdue anyways, and we know he can do that. Yeah,
I mean, I'm still backing Antony. He's got to come under a lot of criticism, especially from rival fans as well, which don't... I can't lie, like, a lot of these rival fans that are putting him under criticism are just seeing clips and not actually watching what he provides to the team. We know what he provides to the team. He's 22, got a lot of potential. I like the fact you picked him as a player to watch, and hopefully today we'll be able to see what he's about and we'll be able to see him develop. Rudy Reese, 90, member for 5 months. I'm so pissed off with Ten Hag. He's as stubborn as Ole and Mourinho, and it will cost him the United job. Don't jump the gun too quick. Do not jump the gun too quick on that one. We've got to get behind the team. Excited to see Plestri come on as well. But everyone, make sure you hit a like on the video, the new build-up show. And we've got a new feature coming for you as well. What we're going to do now is our first time using this live on air, so bear with us, everybody. It's our first time. We have practiced it. But
so please, don't blame us for any mishaps.
Blame
it's the
Ryan.
people behind the camera. We just want to make it clear, me and you, Beth. Please, it's the people behind the camera.
But what we are going to do now is going to bring in Adam, live from London, speaking to us regarding what he thinks of the lineup and what he's expecting from today's game. So let's bring Adam into the show, everyone. He's there. He's actually managed to make it work. I can't quite hear him yet. Trying to hear him come through.
No, can't hear him.
Can't hear him quite yet. Greg's doing it, everyone. Be patient. Can people see him? They can see him there. They can see him there.
Adam looks like he's had a good few cocktails.
I can hear him. I can hear him. Adam, I can hear you. How is London? How's the weather? Are you excited for the game? You've seen the lineup. What do you think? Unchanged?
First of all, weather is lovely jubbly. So we're all just here, shaded by this gorgeous stadium that is Spurs Stadium here. And yeah, team lineups in, and the vibe around here amongst the United fans around this away section was one of shock, basically. That same team, I think a lot of people seen a lot of changes in the front line more than anything. Obviously, Antony was up for grabs, Garnacho was up for grabs, according to everyone before that team news came out here. But I'm a bit surprised. I thought Martial might have made an appearance. I thought Sancho could have come in. But what you got to look at there is there's a lot of players on that pitch today with points to prove. I think that is a good thing for us to be going into this game with today, because that performance against Wolves, we all know, was absolutely garbage. So for me, I look at it, I'm trying to put a positive on it. I would have made probably 1 or 2 changes, but the way I'm looking at it now, I think it is got to go down that line of these have got to go on the pitch here today and show Ten Hag that this is the first team, because we all would have picked this team at the start of the season, Beth.
We would have. Obviously, Garnacho keeps his place, which is a big shock to a lot of people, but they've actually changed the right-back Spurs. It's Pedro Porro starting at right-back, who is seemingly more of an attacking right-back. Do you think Garnacho can get some joy down that side today?
I think we will get joy, because they're going to be so high up the pitch. There's going to be space for Garnacho. Low block, we found they struggled against Wolves, but Wolves came to defend and wait for United to make a mistake, and that's what we did a plenty, and we fed into their game plan. This is going to be Postecoglou's first home game. I've been speaking to Spurs fans here before the game. They're expecting goals here today, but they're not expecting a clean sheet. They're expecting gaps, and the way that he plays the very, very high line. Brentford opened them up at will. It was only through the constant high press and the game that Maddison played that they had a lot of joy against Brentford. Against United, if that midfield actually turns up and plays the way it can do, I think we can open Spurs up on the counter-attack numerous times. And then you look at the bench, we've actually got options on the bench which can change the style of play. We can bring Martial in. Rashford can go back out to the left. Sancho could go false 9, or on the right-hand side if we needed someone a bit better holding onto the ball than what Anthony can do. So, for me, I feel like this game has got goals. Sorry, the camera just nearly fell off.
Well, Adam, you know, it nearly went... It nearly went so smoothly. Wait, Adam. Faz wants to ask you a question, so I'm bringing Faz in now. Faz, go for it.
Adam, a lot of fans, obviously, they wanted this false 9 football with Jadon Sancho to link up with Anthony and Garnacho. But Rashford playing the number 9 role, and Beth's told me some interesting stats as well from before that Rashford, he scored numerous goals against Spurs. Do you see Rashford hopefully playing better than he did against Wolves? Because, that number 9 position, we need to be scoring goals.
You know what, Faz? I think this is a game for Rashford, 100%. I think he's the one to watch out for today, because, like I said, that high line and Rashford over the top. We've seen that ball that Bruno played, that long diagonal here last season, that second goal. That's what I see happening a lot here today. I see the likes of Bruno playing a little bit deeper and being able to play that long ball over the top, because we're going to have space. We're going to be turning that defence around, but I can see Rashford running the whole front line, not just through the centre today. I think he's going to be hunting that line, that halfway line, and waiting to break at any point. I don't think it's necessarily going to be a strict front three today. I think we're going to see a little bit of interchange between them forward players. So that's how I'd like to see it play. We know how Ten Hag is. We know how strict he is, and he sticks to his principles. But honestly, I can see a lot of interchange in that front line, which is what I'm looking forward to in this today. And
just another one quickly. Who would you play next to Casemiro today? Would it be Bruno or Mount?
No, 100% it would be Bruno for me. I think Bruno works better at 8. I think Mason Mount definitely would have the freedom then to do his pressing game in the forward position. I think he'll get a little bit more freedom there. And responsibility shifts a little bit off his shoulders, which I think would probably be a good thing for Mount right now. So I would definitely play Bruno in 8 alongside Casemiro. That understanding level between them two is more advanced and along further down the line than what Mount is, say, with Casemiro. And a game today, and I said this before coming in, Faz, I said, there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes at United at the moment, and there's a lot of unrest amongst the fans here. There's a lot of talk. The 58 are here. They've been chatting and organising the sit-in against Nottingham Forest next week. There's a lot of people talking about Messrs Greenwood, Anthony, stuff going off the pitch, the way the club's been running. It just adds a lot of pressure onto what happens on the pitch here today. And I think the fans need a performance. I just feel like these players are going to go out with a bit between the teeth and go for this today. And the result means so much for all them reasons that I just mentioned.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I just want to ask you a couple more things, Adam, before we let you go. First thing I want to ask is, a lot of people are calling this for it to be a draw, so I'm going to ask for your score prediction, but what do you think? And if we did drop points in any way, for example, would you take a draw now? Or do you think if United are serious, they have to go for this today? They have to get the win? And give us your score prediction as well.
I think United in the position that we're in with the way that away form went from last season, I think a lot of fans will be happy with a performance and a draw. They want to see something else. They want to see United play a certain way. Let's not forget, this Spurs team are going to come at us today. But I think we can see goals being conceded. I've got to stick to what I said. I think it's going to be 2-2. I think a high-scoring draw or maybe a high-scoring win for either team. That's how I see this game going. I do feel like United have got something to prove, though. And for me, yeah, it is. It's high-scoring draw, high-scoring win for either team. Could go either way.
Well, Adam, thank you so much for joining us. Your Casemiro, I've ruined my joke. Your camera was holding on then, like Casemiro was trying to keep Man United's midfield together against Wolves. Well, Adam, great to do this new feature with you, and we'll definitely have to do it more. Good luck for the game. I hope you're walking out with a smile on your face. I hope we get the win. But thank you for joining us, and yeah, we'll see you on the next one. Come on.
See you later.
That was cool, wasn't it?
How good was that? How good was that, everyone? Sorry, I was
cool.
looking over here. This is where the TV is. I've been told I need to look at the camera, so sorry about that, everyone. But yeah, there was Adam. He's confident. He's confident. He says, the fans outside the ground are really surprised that there hasn't been a change put in place. But I want to pose the same question to you guys in the chat and to you, Faz, so everyone get involved in this. A lot of people talking about a draw. Do United have to win this if they really want to put their marker down this season?
The funny thing is, if United end up losing this game, I can instantly tell you right now, Manchester United are going to go and tackle the market heavy with 50 million. They are. They are. So it's almost like a blessing in disguise. If we lose, everybody's going to be upset. We're going to be, fan forum's going to be crap, whatever. But Manchester United are going to go and put a bid in for Amrabat, and they are going to go and put a bid in for Todibo or Pavard or whatever, and probably even go and get a forward. We're known to do this later stages in the transfer window. But this could also be a way for Ten Hag putting the same team out and showing to the board that I'm missing players. We've got 2 keepers on the bench. He might not actually play Martial today again because he might not want to risk another injury, because that'll be another player gone from the squad. He's left Maguire out of the squad fully today. So there's loads of, little hints from Ten Hag himself to tell the board that I need more players. And if today he goes with the same, system as he did against Wolves, then that's just, blatantly obvious. Blatantly obvious that we need Amrabat. Absolutely. And yeah, a win, it would be nice, but a win would also, people get excited after a win. It will mask over the cracks that we do need another player, that we do need a midfielder. He's demanding a forward as well. But I don't see how we go and win this game. I think we'll end up probably underestimating Postecoglou. He's actually a very, very good manager, just as a footballing manager. He might not have the best CV, but if you look at his track record with what he's done with teams, it's actually scary. Yeah,
he's a good manager. There is no doubt about that. I think Ten Hag's a better manager.
Of course.
And Ten Hag said he knows him completely inside out. He's done his research on him, so let's hopefully he proves that today.
Just quickly as well, what I think we should do is use Spurs' kind of this thing with, they wanted Daniel Levy out. They've lost Harry Kane. Spurs, they've just had not the best start to their season, with a draw. The Spurs fans are going to want a result from their team. We should use that against them. We should frustrate them. We should get into the players' heads. And, the fans will feel that as well. And in return, it could benefit us. Just like the away fans will get behind our players and we can build on that. So we should actually use, the Spurs fan coming out, the pressure that's on the Spurs team, we should use it to our benefit and take the game to them.
Yeah, definitely, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that as well. I do think, like you said, we lose this game, we buy Amrabat on Monday. That's the way it goes. I don't want us to. I want us to win massively, but it's a shame that that's the way it is. Ronald Jacob says Faz is the person to watch out for on the United stand. Also, today, Garnacho to watch out with Bruno. Score prediction is 3-2 to Manchester United. Glad to see Adam. Big up to the new show. Get the likes up. Garnacho, Rashid and Mount cooking today. Ronald, I absolutely love it. I love the enthusiasm. I love the chat. I love the prediction. I mean, in our wildest dreams of scoring 3 goals with that front three, but I really hope we do. But thank you so much, Ronald, for putting your contribution in there. Let me see. There was a few others, but they're just popping off my screen. Let me get them up here. Joseph Borg, if we are going to start holding players to high standards, sack... Oh, I'm not reading that out. I'm not reading that out, Joseph, but thank you very much for your chat. Sometimes you start reading a chat out and then you realise you can't continue reading it. This is why you've got to be able to pre-read. Something I'm working on. Chris Andromeda says, I'd like to see some help in the middle for Casemiro. Wouldn't mind Bruno playing a little deeper. I predict a draw today. #Glazers out. And Winced94, member for 5 months, says, hey.
Hello.
Thank you for
Is it
putting
me
a
you're
chat.
looking for?
Thank you for being a member. All the score predictions are coming in now. A lot of people, there's some mixed. There's absolute mixes coming in here. I've got some saying 4-0. We're gonna beat Spurs 4-0. I've seen some saying we're gonna get beat 3-1. I see loads of different score predictions coming in. But Faz, let's get your score prediction in. You might as well.
I know Ricky went with a 2-2. And I actually went with a 1-1. I'll be happy to come away with the draw. I will. Obviously, I'll be over the moon with a win, but I'm sorry. Listen, I have suffered. I've been down this road with Liverpool last season.
I'm asleep from your boringness.
No, you can fall asleep, but you won't be here if I get excited like I did against Spurs against Liverpool last
haunting
season.
you, innit? That viral clip's haunting you.
Haunting. I still get messages to this day about that game. People remember me for that, and after that game happened.
Mickey Mouse.
Oh my goodness, diabolical! No, I'm not doing that again. I'm not doing that. 1-1, and I hope I'm proven wrong, and Man United win.
Right. Well, that's a snooze fest prediction, but
Go on, give yours. 5-0. Go on.
It is to be fair. It's understandable, especially after the Wolves performance. I can understand it. I can definitely understand it. I'm going with. Mine's quite a boring one as well, but I'm actually going with 2-1 to Manchester United.
No, don't play safe.
No, that's not
playing
playing
it
safe. To expect Man United to win after that Wolves performance is not playing it safe. It's not, is it? Come on, let's be honest.
You deep down, you think it's going to be a 3-0, don't you?
No, I think it's going to be 2-1 to Manchester United. We're going to have Rashford and Mount on the score sheet. Oh. And then we're going to have... I don't know who's going to score for Spurs, but it's going to be it's going to go to 1-1, and then United are going to win it in like the last 20 minutes.
I think we're going to concede first.
You think we're going to concede first?
Yeah.
Oh God, that really... I hope we don't, because Man United away from home, they crumble. They crumble so quickly. Well, Ten Hag said himself, it's a new season, it's a fresh start. We have actually got a little quote coming out from Marcus Rashford here that we'll just bring to you right now on the United Stand. He says, Marcus Rashford, the goal's always to do better than the last performance. We could have done better against Wolves, but we took 3 points, and that's what counts, especially at the start of the season. Thoughts on that comment?
I'm surprised he's even some comments come out. But I think talk is cheap. Talk is cheap. I told you about Marcus Rashford. Absolutely love and adore him. Absolutely. Rashford is red. We sing the song. But he needs, if he's playing that number 9 position, he needs to graft. And I mean serious graft off the ball. And I'm not asking you to track back. I am simply asking that he presses the guy in front of him if he loses the ball. It is the basic, minuscule thing that I can ask for. Because Anthony, Garnacho, they all try to win the ball back. And if Rashford doesn't try to win the ball back, it doesn't help anyone. We're supposed to be, especially against, for example, a team like Spurs today. Imagine when we face Brighton, teams like that, we have to press from the front. We have to, if you're losing the ball, you have to try and win it back. If not, you're just there to tap the ball in, and it's not going to help. And people say, oh, well, Haaland doesn't press like this or that. Well, that's them. This is Manchester United. This is Marcus Rashford. He has a new contract. He's here for many more years, and we're going to hold him to our standard.
It's weird with this one today because it could go one or two ways, really. You lose this game, even though you get the 3 points against Wolves, that performance sticks in people's mind. So you've got fans getting on the backs of the team and the manager maybe even thinking, it was a rubbish performance at home in our first home game. Now we've gone and lost to Spurs away. This isn't a good start to the season. You win today and you think... You know what, looking back, start opening the season, Wolves are a team we've always struggled against, and we managed to get 3 points even though we had a bad performance. And then the new manager's first home game against Spurs that are looking a little bit more lively now, we managed to get the win on our first away game, which we struggled with away games last year. That's a really positive start to the season. So it really could go one or two ways, and people are going to... This is what football is, isn't it? It's very reactionary in senses like that, but... We've got to think about it and think about what we're going to do. But Faz, final score predictions 1-1. My final score prediction is 2-1. This has been the build-up show, everyone, and I've absolutely loved it. We went through match facts, we got Adam in, we did ones to watch, we did score predictions. But Let's hope that Man United win this game, everyone. Man United are unchanged. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We are now going to smoothly pass over to Mark Goldbridge, who is going to be taking you through the watch-along. After the watch-along, when Man United beat Spurs, fingers crossed, we're going to have the match reaction from Goldbridge, where he does his player ratings. We're going to have the fan forum with me, Faz, Double A, and Ricky, who owes me a tenner. Going to have loads coming for you as well, and Adam's got his match vlog coming from outside the Spurs ground. Thank you, everyone, for tuning into the build-up show. Thank you for all the love. Thank you for all the chats. Make sure you hit a like on the video. Thanks, Faz, for being on with us. And over to Mark Goldbridge himself.